Hello, 8th graders. So, today what we're going to talk about is lesson 4.5 exponents and roots. Okay, so remember when we were saying like squared, the opposite of squared is square root, the opposite of cubed is cube root, and so forth like that. Okay, the other thing we're doing is we're going to be using the order of operations going backwards. Okay, so flip it around so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. Exponents and roots. So let's remember our order of operations. Please excuse my dear aunt. Okay, because remember we don't use any subtraction. Okay, so when we look here, the first one, x cubed, to do the opposite of being cubed would be the cubed root. So we say cube root, and whatever I do to one side, I got to do to the other. So x then equals, well, oh, oops, I just shut off my phone, had it ready. Okay, so when we look here, clear, and then I say 64, and then see right here, the cubed root, I hit that and it says 4. So it would be 4. Now, could it be negative 4? Well, this would be an odd number of negatives. So then the answer would be negative. So no, it's got to be just the positive 4. Okay, now let's take a look at this one. Okay, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And remember, we're going backwards on this. Okay, so we have to undo the addition. So I'm going to add a negative 2 to both sides. And I get x squared equals 100. Then to find out what x is, I got to get rid of the squared. So to get rid of the squared, I square root. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. Okay, and then x equals 10. Now, here's the thing though. Because this exponent is a positive, that means this 10 could be a positive or a negative. So you got to put that on your answer or it'll be marked wrong. Okay, taking a look at number 3. Okay, so by order of operations, we don't have anything being added. And then we have division. So the opposite of division would be multiplication. So we're going to multiply both sides by 4. Okay, x squared equals, well, I don't know 16, I bet it's 64, but we'll see. Okay, 16 times 4 is 64. So we get 64, okay, and then to get x by itself, I have to square root both sides. And what times what gives me 64? Well, that would be 8. But again, because the exponent is positive, this is a positive or negative 8. Okay, we look at number 4 here. Okay, by order of operations, first thing we're going to have to do is undo the addition. Okay, so there's a negative 13 being added here. So I'm going to add a positive 13 to both sides. Okay, so then I get 8x cubed equals, well, this is a negative and this is a positive. So my answer is going to be a negative. Okay, 4 and 6, 64, negative 64. I divide it by 8 and I get x cubed equals negative 8. Okay, now cube root both sides, and because this is an odd and this is a negative, our answer is going to be negative. So x then equals negative 2, because negative 2 times negative 2 would be 4, but then 4 times negative 2 would give us negative 8. And remember, the awesome thing about all this stuff is you can always plug your answer back into the equation and you'll know you're correct if it works out. Okay, now number 5. Okay, first thing I would do here, I hope you're saying LCO. Okay, and then I'm going to add 4 to both sides, and I get 2/3 x to the 4th equals 54. Now, what we have to do is we have to divide by 2/3. Well, if you remember when we divide by a fraction, how do we divide by a fraction? Well, that's keep, change, flip. So it becomes times 3/2. 2. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3 over 2. And I get x to the 4th equals, well, to be able to do this, okay, I say 54 times 3 equals 162, and then I divide that by 2, and I get 81. So this is 81. Now, the 4th root is what we have to do here because we're undoing the power of 4. So to be able to do that, I have to hit the XY button and then hit 4, because that means take it to the 4th power, the 4th root, and we get 3. So x equals 3. But I hope you're saying this is a positive, so therefore, or not a positive, but an even number, so this needs to be positive or negative. Okay, if you think about it, 3 times 3 is 9, 9 times 3 is 27, 27 times 3 would be 81. That's where we get the 3 from, positive or negative. Okay, oh, sorry. My iPad slipped on me there for a second. Okay, the next one here. Okay, undo the addition first, so I'm going to add a negative 19. And we get 1/4 x squared equals 281. Okay, same thing we did over here where we're going to have to divide by a fraction. Now we're going to multiply it by 4 over 1, which really is just 4, right? So I multiply this by 4 because 4 over 1 is 4. So 281 times 4, x squared equals 1,124. Okay, now we need to square root both sides. Okay, so I have that amount on there. I square root it. Now, you got to read the directions. I believe the directions are going to tell you maybe the hundredths place. Okay, so that's going to be the second spot behind the decimal. So in here, then our answer is going to be, now this is even, so it's a positive or negative. Okay, and then to the hundredths, oh, we got to look at the next one. This is 6, which is 5 or bigger, so we have to round this one up. So it becomes 33.53 is our final answer. All right, so there you go. You're almost done with new assignments in the 8th grade. I got the one for tomorrow, and then you will be done, and the rest of the year is corrections and missing stuff getting turned in. So have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.